Hi, good. Happy Friday, everybody. This is Ferd the Nerd with another video game market report. The title of this video series is, or not video series, but this particular video is the market crashing. I don't think it is. Actually, I feel like the market is just finding its footing. There's still a very segmented market. I would say if you're just starting to collect video games, go for the ones that you know of, and then kind of venture out to those more niche, whether that be like first creator series, like a Snatcher, Sega CD, or just rarer titles like we have a couple in this one, but like horror segment, that's kind of a new niche, I would say, and is a little bit more rare, or just like collector items. I know back when I was a kid, when you saw something that said collector's item or something like that, most likely it was overprinted or was not going to be a collector's item. Now I'm finding that nowadays that the collector's items or the special editions are actually worth quite a bit because of the lower print run, and kind of with the onset of digital downloads and physical media not being printed as much, the futures I feel very good for the hobby and for this growing hobby of video games. I don't know if it's gonna overtake other mediums like comic books or sports cards, but if you talk to kids, they don't really collect sports cards anymore. They don't really know who players are in like baseball, for example. They know football, but I mean, in football, it's really just quarterbacks you can collect. But every kid knows what Fortnite is. Every kid has some type of system, whether that be their phone, their PlayStation, their Nintendo Switch, their Xbox, computer, what have you. And there's a lot of money in video games as well. So that's which is the most important thing if you're collecting and trying to make a profit out of this hobby. So without further ado, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has supported the channel. Please do the thing, click that like button, subscribe, tell all your friends about the show, and I'll keep doing these. If you want to research my past reports as well, I do encourage you all to play them over and over so I can get monetized and all that good stuff. But without further ado, let's get into what I found this week. So again, I'm having a lot more fun doing these reports as I keep doing them more and more often. I'm learning more about other genres of video games I've never thought of before. The one thing I would say that is a pretty for sure bet is the horror segment, especially like PlayStation or PlayStation 2 video games. I haven't done that much research on Xbox because like PlayStation and Nintendo are kind of the ones to go with, but I have found that that niche is starting to grow a little bit more in popularity, and I think there's more potential. I don't know what's going to push these properties more, but if you see them in CIB and that's like $50, just grab it. It's probably going to do pretty well in the aftermarket after you get graded. So first off, we got Tekken 3. I kind of want to give a shout out to the Beyond Wednesday show. Vinny Kumar, who's a good friend of mine, he'd highlighted a couple of these sales on I think it was Heritage Auctions, and it was a Japanese version. It wasn't so much the American version, but I remember playing this game when I was a kid. Tekken 3, not only was the kind of the side by side was kind of the deal, right? Like Mortal Kombat, your Street Fighters, what have you, and then Virtua Fighter came out, and that was kind of the more 3D where you use the whole entire arena as kind of your fighting ground. Tekken 3 kind of went that way, but I think what really did it in for me on this game is like the rich stories, and like each character had a different storyline. I know Mortal Kombat did that to an extent, but this was really felt like you had to get good with every single character because you wanted to know what their path was and why they were going through the tournament, and everyone had their different reasons. The cover is pretty cool, and it's funny. This is Tekken 3. This isn't Tekken 2 or 1, but I just remember this being one of the best PlayStation games I ever played as far as fighting is concerned. But it was Tekken 3 was the one that really got things going. Now, I don't know what the sales are. I didn't really check anything beforehand on these guys, but let's take a look at the market. So CIB, I mean, it's pretty standard. That's 4009 is going to be the same amount you're going to pay for a Final Fantasy 7. $10. I mean, I may actually bid on that. The tough thing with these CIBs and PlayStation 1s is the discs weren't very great quality, and so you sometimes find that they can break pretty easily. So the jewel cases are very sensitive in these guys. But pretty liquid market, I would say, for Tekken 3. And if we scroll down, so that's a greatest hits. I probably wouldn't go for that one. Wow, 1139. That must be not in the greatest condition. That's a PS3, of course. Let's go to the highest prices for Tekken 3. Wow, a 9.8 sealed best offer went for $3,000. So this is a factory from Japan. Pretty cool. Wow, that'd be kind of a cool collectible to have. Very niche again. Tekken 6, I probably want to go for that, but that's pretty cool. I don't see any sealed really. Maybe perhaps this one is a sealed one. I don't want to click on it. Sorry, my allergies kind of getting to me. Okay, so 118 for 90 greatest hits. So you're probably thinking like maybe double for an actual original sealed copy of this. But that's kind of where the market's at for Tekken 3. But pretty cool. Again, this was one of my favorite games ever growing up. So let's go on to the next one. Grand Theft Auto 3 on PlayStation 2 by Rockstar Games. Arguably, this is kind of the game that kind of started it for this Grand Theft Auto franchise. I'd say Rockstar Games as well. It had a great storyline, has a great following. It's very shoot 'em up style. You could go different storylines as well, and they're all very rich. And I forget this isn't based on LA's kind of landscape, but very fun game to play. Very enjoyable on PlayStation 2. This is not the LA one. I think this is like New York. But let's take a look at the sales here again. Grand Theft Auto 2. And the thing about this series also, $14.94 for a WADA sealed. Wow, that's pretty cool. Old school GTA 2. That's pretty awesome as well. I think the thing with this franchise is that it's a well-known franchise, right? And it's very like mature. So I remember a lot of parents didn't want their kids playing these games. So to get your hands on one from back in the day, it's pretty cool and pretty rare to get, I would say. If you can find a good version of this sealed, you could probably flip it. I would probably try for an entry point of, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, if you can even get that. It might be pretty tough to get a Grand Theft Auto 2 sealed. So that's not bad. $55 for this one. I would try this for $24.99. Why not? With a security strip, that's pretty clean. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, yeah. I mean, $37.99 for a sealed. I'd probably even go for that too. I mean, you see where the 9.4s go for. Use a little calculator that I made a while back, and see if it makes sense. If not, then you could just try and sell it for break even, or sometimes you got to take a loss. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty healthy. If a $24 buy-in and you can sell for 200 if you get a 9.8, I mean, that's pretty good return on your money. And yeah, so let's go on to the next one. Michigan Report from Hell. I thought this was a really, again, very niche game. I've never heard of this game before when it came out, but it's a survival horror game. So to me, that's pretty rare. This cuts into the horror game that is a rare category automatically, especially with PlayStation 2s. I don't even know if you can get this game anywhere. I was just kind of thinking like I've never heard of this game. The cover, the title for this game is pretty funny. It does its justice. But Michigan Report from Hell. Let's see where we're looking at. Michigan PS2. Wow. Okay, so $803, $300, CIB European exclusive. Okay, that's kind of a cool version. The Japanese, $643 for a sealed one from Italy. That's CIB from France. Wow, is this like a? I mean, it's from Michigan. When I was reading about the synopsis for this game, yeah, it's basically like a horror game. Shoot 'em up, and you're in Michigan of all places. 943. Holy cow! This game must be a ghost, if you will. Wow. And it looks like it's mostly foreign. Portugal, Italy. This is very intriguing to me. I guess like keep your eyes out open for this game if you ever see it anywhere. But perhaps it's only a foreign game, which is kind of funny because it's Michigan. Report from Hell, as opposed to like I don't know a major city in America let's use Michigan. I don't know, kind of random, but I believe it's a zombie game from what I heard. But yeah, that is really cool. That's a lot of money. That's very niche though. So be careful if you do want to go big on this game. I've never heard of this game before until I just doing research on this. But again, Michigan Report from Hell. That's a lot of money. On to the next. And before we get into this next game, I just again want to thank everyone's support for supporting the channel, watching these, market report videos. I love how this market and just how video game collecting is kind of taken over. Well, I would say taken over, but is consistently growing. There's more conventions on it. There's more excitement over it. And the other thing too is there's less of it out there. There's less sealed. There's less CIB. There's going to be future less physical media. So it just do us a favor. Click that like button. Subscribe to all your friends about the videos that we're doing. And, again, look at the replays. It's good to kind of look at the past stuff that I've done in the past couple of weeks to see if the market holds or if like, oh man, I didn't think of that particular game. It's all up there for your guys' enjoyment and research. So I hope you guys do enjoy this show. But yeah, Call of Duty PS2 Finest Hour. I would say like from when I remember, this was like the first Call of Duty that really got kind of exciting and people really got into the game. That's a World War II piece. I loved this game when it came out. I couldn't get enough of it. I remember playing the storyline quite a bit. I don't think I played this multiplayer though. I don't even know if it was like available. But I was it was just kind of curious what the amount of this game was going for. So let's take a look. Call of Duty PS2. Let's see. Finest hour. Let me type finest hour in there because that might be more specific to PS2. Okay, so $99.99. Obviously, you want to get the sealed version of this. I would not go with CIB for this. Portuguese version. That's kind of cool. So yeah, again, I wouldn't go. There's particular games that you can get some money if it's not sealed, but in this case, I think if you're trying to, I'd go for an $85 like sealed version of it. Let's see. Let's just see what the grades are for this. So you're going to spend around. So you're going to spend quite a bit. Wow, $549.95. This guy's asking $999 for it. A 6.9 is asking $677, but we don't go off of asks. We ask for actual sales. Let's take a look at the sold sales here. So $325 for a legacy set. Okay, $199.97. So 9.6. Okay, I get it. Lot of 7. I don't know if those are sealed. So man, I probably would only offer about $70 and make sure you clean the crap out of that thing. It's possible to get 9.6s out of sealed old school PS2 games. I've got a Godfather 9.6, so it's not impossible, but make sure you just clean it really well, like with a pad or something. And be prepared to maybe not make as much money. I mean, this one sold for 9.6s. So yeah, this might be a tough one to try and flip if you're trying to flip it. But if you're collecting this game, maybe buy a 9.6. I mean, that, try to find values and, value investing here, right? Maybe a 9.6 for $61 ain't too bad if you enjoy the game. So I've never one to say like, collect collect what you love kind of thing. I mean, let's be honest, people like you're trying to make money in some cases on these games, but if you are just collecting for the love of it, I mean, a 9.6 is kind of the way to go versus getting a sealed one. Maybe offer, maybe pay a little bit more if you find a 9.6 because they're going for like $61. Maybe offer 70 if you really want it. The 9.8s are going for a premium for sure, though. So maybe you get lucky, you get a 9.8, and perhaps make 6 times what your investment was. It's not bad, but again, that's pretty risky. I don't like the buy-in for that sealed, especially. So on to the next. PS3 Uncharted number 2 among these. I know there's a lot of notoriety with the first Uncharted. And this is Tom Holland's Magna Carta, right? I'm just kidding. Popular video game, popular series. They obviously made a movie out of it. I don't know if they'll make a second one. But yeah, I was kind of curious of what the movement when in this particular PS3 game was. PS3 is kind of coming into that niche. I would say niche market, but like those Gen Zers that had a PS3 that are now kind of going back and trying to find those old games that they had when they were a kid. So okay, this Hunter Edition is going for $3,050. A VJ90 is going for $376, and these are sealed. It looks like so 9.8 going for $275, $179.95 for a P or 9.6, 9.6 again for about $150. So let's see. Maybe you can get this let's see the listings here. Okay. So Game of the Year edition. So this is a pretty heavily printed game. Let's be honest here. And okay, let's see sealed. So we can get like a pretty good version of a sealed. It's a broken seal. Okay, it's a broken seal. Sealed E1. So that, I mean, who knows if you get a 9.6, that's a lot of money. I want to take a look at the corners and all that. Okay, this guy's crazy. That's not sealed. 1999. Let's take a look. Okay. Wifold seemed pretty crisp. I'd probably want to email this guy and ask what the bottom looks like. But man, if you can get a 9 out of that, that's a lot. That's a really good return. Probably should. Okay. So yeah, this one, $20. I mean, that might not be a bad idea. Share this tab instead. Okay. I want to get the Game of the Year edition because that's essentially a reprint. Yeah, kind of cool. That might be your flip of the week if you can find it. So Uncharted PS3 Among Thieves. Try and get the PS3 sealed version if you can, if you're trying to flip this guy. Blood. Oh, this is not Blood Hunt number 3. There's just a Scary Dreams Game Boy Advance. I may have messed up on the screens here. This is just a random Game Boy Advance game that I never heard of. It looks like it's a Tiny Toons adventure, which was pretty popular when I was a kid. Not so much the game. I didn't play any of these games at all because Game Boy Advance came out like the late 90s, early 2000s. I didn't have it. I was playing Dreamcast. So let's see, Game Boy Advance. This must be a pretty rare game. I'm not sure. Okay, this is a pretty rare game. Wow. I don't know if that guy's just asking too much or if that's what it's worth, but so not a lot of listings. Let's take a look at this tab instead. So $83.99 just for the game. This one's like cracked in half. Wow, $415 for a factory sealed version of Scary Dreams Nintendo from 2005. Scary Dreams, the Tiny Toon Adventures version. It baffles me how much these little guy cartridges are worth so much money without the cartridge. I could just see some kid like being like, get rid of the box, recycle it. But man, that's a one-off sale. This is very niche. Okay, April 21st, that was a couple months ago. I want to say that was the market kind of dropped again in March for anything collectible and started to rise starting in April. So that's probably pretty healthy. 6 bids. Again, man, you got to really watch out if you find this or you're trying to flip this. Like that's a tough one. But man, this is a very expensive looking game. Game Boy Advance, Tiny Toons, Scary Dreams. Gran Turismo, again, this is like obviously like this isn't a niche game. This is a very well-known game. If you don't know what this game is, you're under a rock. But this is arguably the best simulation game ever for driving. I would say Gran Turismo 2 is my favorite one. You got more cars. This is the first. I remember playing this game. I didn't know what a Skyline was until I played this game. So, it's pretty. Oh, let me technical difficulty. Sorry. So yeah, so possibly the best simulation game ever. I learned, again, like I learned what a Skyline was. I learned about different brands, different Japanese cars. This was kind of, I think, what is it? Fast and Furious came out like a year or two after this game. And there's actually the first Fast and Furious movie. There's a dude playing Gran Turismo in his car right before he's about to race, which I thought was like the coolest thing ever. And the graphics are horrible in this game, but the simulation of it was perfect. You really felt like you were driving, like an actual car. It was a tough game, for sure. PS1 sealed, and I think so. CIB goes for 18.9. I mean, there's a ton of these, right? So let's see here. Maybe better search. See, people are asking $100 for a greatest hits version. This kind of goes in the realm of like the Final Fantasy VII like realm. $500 for a Y fold. Wow, $495 for An 8.5 WADA 8.0, $800. I'd probably go for that one personally, just for my own collection. But again, let's look at the actual sold listings here, peeps. Okay, that's CIB. The collector me would just want to get a CIB version. I don't know if I'd be cool with spending that much. What the hell? Okay. Damn, okay, let's see here. 1,250 for a 9.8. Best offer. 499 for that's kind of a cool version. Blister pack. I remember how they sold those PlayStation games in blister packs. 7.5 for a sealed version. 184. I'm not mad at that. 7.5 for $200. So yeah, I mean, when you find sealed versions going for this much, it's people just want they don't care about the grade. They want to get a deal. $98 for a sealed version. This would be beautiful to have. Hopefully get an 8.0. If you're trying to flip it, I mean, there's that's a potential for sure. It's a little risky, but there's some potential there. So yeah, again, Gran Turismo, the PlayStation 1 version, arguably one of the best games for racing ever. Spyro, this was past my time, but I have seen the strategy guys go for quite a bit of money on this. I know this is a very popular game amongst children. Gen Z, probably not Gen Z, maybe more millennial, younger millennials, like cusp Gen Z. But I do remember this game, again, like little kids playing it 10 years younger than me. So that is, I guess, millennials. That's not the best simulation game ever. I'm sorry, this is really bad. We're just gonna go on to the listings here. Spyro, or the hell name is. Let's see here. Wow, 2,499 for a 9.6. Let's see. Let's do PlayStation. Well, I did do PlayStation. Okay. The Collector's Edition. I didn't even know there was a Collector's Edition. See, you learn something new every day. 9.8's going for $600. Wow, that's like a spawn off version. Wow, this is cool. Best Buy Grace Hits demo disc. That's really cool. If it had Final Fantasy 7, I'd be all over that. It has Final Fantasy Tactics, but I guess I'll take that. That's kind of cool. This must be the second game. Yeah, Spyro 2. Year of the Dragon. The covers are really cool. On actually the covers and the font of the lettering is very, very clean. 52. Okay, let's see what the listings are. I mean, for this game, you probably do want it sealed, just for the going price of it. This guy's nuts. Okay, 2370 for CIB. CIB. Okay, let's see sealed. Let's do a better search here. Nope. So whenever there's like a greatest hits version of a game, just know it's highly printed. So you really have to get those PlayStation like beloved games to justify a greatest hits version. Huh. Guess there's not that many sealed. Why don't we do highest price? I gotta think that the highest price. Okay, $600 is a lot. These are more, and see the greatest hits, man. That's a lot of money. Okay. Huh. I'd probably offer like $40 for this, for a sealed version, maybe 50, because I need some meat on the bone. And see, strategy guide, baby, Pickles, if you're watching, a shout out to you. Cool. All right. Well, Spyro, whatever your name is, or however you say the name, there might be opportunity in the later editions of this video game, but nonetheless, that's a known character, and who knows, maybe they'll make a cartoon out of it. I'm not banking on that though. X-Men Legends. I actually, when I was thinking about this game, I forgot how the gameplay was, but it's essentially you're like overhead and you have a team of like 4 or 5 X-Men, and the main villain is Magneto. It's very, I remember the X-Men arcade game was side by side, but this was very different from my memory. it was, again, it was like you're looking overhead. And so you get to switch between each main character. So, like, for example, I think the scene I was watching was like Iceman was used because they were putting out fires, and the only way to get to the next level was to put these fires out. So you switch to Iceman. In the meantime, your other characters on your team at that point are still like part of what's going on, and so they're fighting other like villains or whatnot. Very cool game, very strategic. Like the gameplay was awesome. I would say this probably got a 95 out of 100 video game score. Just thinking about Marvel franchise video games, this is probably one of like the most beloved PlayStation games, I would say, because it has a beloved team. I want to say this game came out around the movie or like right before. I can't remember at the top of my head. The sequel is actually another one I was going to put on here, but I remember this one being the OG one, and the sequel came out pretty quick afterwards. Apocalypse was part of that one. So without further ado, yeah, let's get in to see how much X-Men Legends goes for. I assume it's going to go for quite a bit, but I don't know if this was like a very niche game. So 96 is asking 405, 269 for the second one. You see that X-Men Apocalypse version is pretty cool looking too. I wouldn't be mad at that. 145 seems a little high to me. That's kind of a cool looking font on that. Okay. So let's see what the last solds were on this game. 425 for a 9.8, June 9th. $99 for a factory new inbox. I don't know if that qualifies as sealed. $80 for a sealed one. Not bad. $75.95. I like that one better. It may just project better on. So that's not bad. I'm not mad at that for 4.25 going for a 9.8. There might be some potential with this. And like, if CGC is gonna start authenticating autographs, this might be something to get autographed by somebody. I'd rather get the autograph, or I don't know. Depends on what you're getting autographed, but like that'd be pretty cool to get signed by like Jim Lee. I don't know. That's totally random. But anyway, X-Men Legends, PS2 sealed. Try and get it, and good luck. Okay, I think that's the end of my video games. Sorry, guys. Let's see here. Yeah, that's the last of my video games for the week. So yeah, kind of a short video this week, about a half hour. Again, I want to thank everyone for their continued support of the channel. Please do me a favor and just click that like button. Watch through the whole entire 30 minutes of this show. It really helps with the algorithm and getting these market reports out to the prospective people that like to watch it. You all have a great weekend. We'll see you a little later on Sunday. I have to go to the eastern part of Washington to visit some family. But you guys have a great weekend. I really do. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.